Anglers Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. It is time for the Manager's Show with John Schiffner. Schiff, yesterday a pretty big win for you career-wise. Now, if I had told you, 21 years ago, 1993, you took over for Rich Hill. If I told that John Schiffner that 21 years later you'd still be doing this and you'd have 450 wins, what would that guy have said?
Oh, my God. He would have said, there's no way. You got to be kidding me. I'm glad it happened, but that'd be an interesting question to answer. Back in 1993, what would I have said? I said, let's see what happens for the end of this year, and let's see what happens next year. It was special. It was fun. I didn't really know about it, and then all of a sudden, one of our anonymous peeps and I, he texts me, I text him, and we figured it out. Oh my gosh, yes, that is it. That's the number. It's but to me, it's more of the length than anything else. Not the wins as much as the length, and especially the relationships.
What is your reaction when you finally figured that out? 450 wins, 21 years that you've been around this organization. What was your reaction when did it hit you?
It's not. It still hasn't. It's been a terrific ride for all these years. I think when it ends is when I'll really like it. It'll hit me then. Maybe it'll hit me this fall because I'm not going to go back to school. Where I'll have a lot of time to reflect on something like that because, you leave here, you get about 10 days off, then you go back to school and you're in the grind of school. The recruiting is starting, and it really, not that my life is hectic by any matter, but you don't get enough time, and maybe we all don't get enough time to sit back and reflect. But at some point I will, and the memories will flow out, and just the friendships that you've made over the years, and it's been special. It's been really, really special, and of course, winning a lot makes it a lot more fun. As John Madden said, winning is a great deodorant. So if you have more than you've lost, it's not so bad. But there are a few of my friends, or I think they're my friends, will say, "Hey, don't forget, you got the most losses too." So they'll humble me right away.
But you've been here for long enough to accumulate both, and you continually talk about the relationships that you made, whether it's with your coaches or players from back when or players from last year. What is so important about those relationships that you've built over time?
Well, of course, they're still there. Some of the people I have. Well, I wish you were here an hour ago. I was talking to a guy that I coached in 1980. Tom Healy was with us in the early 80s when I was with Eddie Lyons, and he always stops by, and he's a University of Rhode Island grad, and it was so neat to see him, and he stops by every year. And I got a text just today. This is Rick Wysocki, pitched for us in 1982 when I was Eddie's assistant, and he said, "Hey, did Adam Warren play for you? I'm at Yankee Stadium next to a bullpen. I'm trying to get his attention." It's neat stuff like that. And then, of course, to see kids like Adam make it to the big leagues, and that's what it's all about. And you talk to the guys years and years later, and they really sincerely mean that they had the best summer of their lives. That's what's so important. And like I said, the wins aside, it's those moments, and I think it's the guys who didn't make it to the big leagues who appreciate it the most. The guys who made it to the big leagues certainly do appreciate it, but their life has been a blur since that point. It's the guys who played here, who know they were good enough to play here, didn't make it into Pro Bowl or didn't make it to the major leagues, and still appreciate what they had and still enjoyed it immensely. So that's important. And then, of course, all the coaches I've had over the years, they've been phenomenal. I mean, there are so many of them who I still stay in touch with, virtually all of them. And you get the text, you get the email, you'll get a phone call or whatever, and just checking in. Or I got probably 10 or 12 congrats last night because they checked Twitter, they checked online. So it's fantastic.
What does it mean to you that these people still keep in contact with you and you still keep in contact with them from all those years ago, even if it's just 1 or 2 summers that you spent together, that you still have those relationships?
I think what it says is we do it the right way here, that it is the Chatham experience is what I like to call it, and it's the whole experience. It's not just me, it's not just my coaches, it's the host families, it's the people working for the association, it's the people in town, and that's what's so important about it. And I think that's why so many people stay in touch, because the community embraces all of these guys, including the coaches. And when the camp moms buy the guys donuts, and people stop by the dugout and they give you candy, they give you food, or they always, and just those little things like that. Or in the parade, the people go crazy waving to you, and they can't wait for the little kids to come up and get an autograph or get something. I mean, that's so important. It's so special. It makes it, and it's the same for all of the other teams, I'm sure. Maybe ours is a little bit different just because we're so small. Chatham is, very, very small community, and They really embrace us, and I think that's what, and I will say it to my grave, the best testimony of what this means is when kids come back and get married here. 5 of them have done that. That's pretty cool.
It is indeed. Well, speaking of generations, Lucas Schiraldi did very well for you guys yesterday. Of course, his father is Calvin Schiraldi. What was he doing so well yesterday in particular? Just 69 pitches through 6 innings. He was so efficient.
There you go. Efficient. He really worked on that. I think his first outing, he went 4 innings. He might have thrown almost 80 pitches. I don't know. I'm close, but, he was not efficient. He was, you could see the talent level was there, but he needed to be more efficient. And he's been, one of Matt Gardner's prize students. I mean, to go, that many pitches in that long, that's fantastic. I asked in the 4th or 5th inning, I said, I'm always worried about whether we're overusing a pitcher and making sure, we got the bullpen ready. I said, where's he at? And Matt goes, 43. Why? I said, oh, sorry. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Good for him. I knew it was good, but I always like to know. And, that was a tremendous pitching performance. He just mixed his speeds well and threw strikes.
Yesterday, you guys got the win, stopping a little mini 2-game losing skid, whereas after your first big win streak of the season, you lost 4 in a row. Was it important for you guys to stop it there and get back?
Got to stop the bleeding right there. But, again, I'm not concerned. The 2 games we lost, we were in them. We were in them both. So, we're in almost every game we play. So there's no concern with this team at this point. One thing I'm a little concerned about, which we talked about, our strikeouts are on the rise a little bit. We got to cut that down. But we still did our job situational hitting yesterday, which, in clutch hitting with Dante with a big base hit. That's the way we are. That's who we are. And if we continue to do that, we're going to be okay.
All right, we'll see if you guys can continue to do that today. Thanks a lot, Schiff.
Thank you, Brandon.
That is the Manager's Show, sponsored by the Chatham Bakery on the Anglers Extra Pregame Show, which continues with Keith Zubrow.